So question number 1, which is on inequalities, and anytime you hear inequalities, always say all the numbers that are. All the numbers that are is the wording used for the letter X. Okay. Now question number 1, let me put the quotation marks. Whenever you see X here, you can say all the numbers that are. All right. So here's a number line. Okay. Just this is the assignment and this is the practice. Right. So here's a number line. You say write down the inequality which describes the region shown in each diagram. Okay. So let's start with part D. So with part D now, when we see part D, what do we say? Okay, so I'm going to write here. When you see part D, when you see this diagram for part D, what do we see? Okay, now let's look at this diagram. What can we see? Part D. Let's come back up. What do we see? All the numbers that are between -2 and 2. That is what this diagram is depicting. Inclusive, because once the circle has been shaded, that means -2 and 2 is included. So inclusive. Okay, so this diagram is depicting all the numbers that are between -2 and 2 inclusive. Okay, that's what we are seeing. Since the circle is shaded, then -2 and 2 is included, and all the numbers between. Okay, all the numbers between -2 and 2 inclusive. So that's what you see when you see this diagram. Okay, now to represent this symbolically now, so to represent this statement symbolically, you can put this there, and symbolically, so the symbol for all the numbers that are, okay, let me put this in color coded. So the symbol for all the numbers that are is the letter X. Okay, that's what I've been explaining. Anytime you see X, you can say all numbers that are. Okay, so all the numbers that are X between -2 and 2. So -2 is commented on the left side, -2 on the left side, and 2 on the right side. Now we need to put a symbol here now. So all the numbers that are greater than or equal to -2. All the numbers that are greater than or equal to -2. Because if you start reading from the X, you're going to say all the numbers that are greater than. So where is the greater than symbol or the greater than part of the inequality sign? Have to be facing the X here. Bam. You see, the greater than part has to be facing the X. Because if you start reading from the X, X is greater than all the numbers that are greater than or equal to -2. Okay. Now let's go to the other side now. These numbers are less than 2. 1 is less than 2. 0 is less than 2, including 2. So if we start reading from the X and we have to go to the right, we have to say less than. So we're supposed to meet the point when we're going from the right to the right. Okay, so this is the symbol again. Okay, so we're going to say X now is less than or equal to 2. And you can clearly see the symbol is pointing in the same direction, but we're saying two different things. So please, that is why don't call this the less than sign or the greater than sign. Historically, I know probably that's what you're thinking because that's what you have been taught. I know that. Okay, that's why I'm stressing. That's why I made this little preparation and to reemphasize over and over again. Okay, whenever you see this symbol, the opening is called greater than and the point is called less than. Okay, it's not the sign, it's the two parts of it. Okay, the point is called less than, the opening is called greater than. The point is called less than, the opening is called greater than. So when we come to this now situation here, when we see this diagram, we are saying all the numbers between -2 and 2, all the numbers that are greater than -2, 0 is greater than -2, 1 is greater than -2. So if we start reading from the X and we have to say greater than, then we have to see the point, the opening, all the numbers that are greater than -2. And all those numbers now are less than 2. So if we start reading from the X and we have to go to the right, we have to say less than, so we have to meet the point. All the numbers less than 2, including 2. So that's why you have the equal sign attached. Okay, so this is the symbol, this is the symbolic notation, or you can say symbolic notation. You can say symbols or symbolic notation for this diagram representation. This is the words for it, and this is the symbols for it. So this is the answer, okay? But I needed to include that statement here to show you how this symbol came about, okay? So please apply this now to these 3, all right, situations in the assignment.